You have not finished your childhood if you have not gotten those tiny styrofoam beads everywhere.
Hi, I'm in my 30s, and one time on telehealth therapy, I accidentally exploded a Neato ball in my 30s.
Raising a well-behaved child in this world requires strict discipline and punishment. Today, we will look...
No, we will not.
Hello and welcome to Childproof, an Airwave Media podcast. I'm Tori Phantom.
And I'm Gwenna Lathland, and this episode goes out to all the
what?
I don't know. I can't decide.
Yeah. Making decisions is exhausting.
So exhausting.
But at least we don't have to decide whether or not to set the timer.
Yeah. So I have been considering decision fatigue. My husband and I, thankfully, I have the support that we can do this, that we have really been focusing on work-life balance. Because we work from home, the temptation to constantly be working at the job. Oh, we've got downtime. Let me just write a paragraph real quick. Oh, we've got downtime. Let me just fix this little phrase here. Oh, we've got downtime. Yeah, I'm going to go upload this video real quick. Like, it's constant. And so we've been trying really hard to... Saturdays, neither of us are allowed into our workspaces, and we hold ourselves accountable. We hold each other accountable. I'm not allowed in my office. And if I have to go in my office, I have to state, I am walking into my office to grab this specific thing from this specific location because I need it for something else.
Yeah.
And Jack has to do the same thing. But what that means is by having nothing on Saturday, we now have to decide what to do.
Ugh.
What do we do with our spare time? And then the kids have reached this, I'm bored. And bored means you're boring. Bored. Our phrase is boredom is the first step to creativity, which they hate. My kids are done with it.
Yeah, you got that one from me, and then I stole one from you, and now we're just both annoying our kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I realized we made a decision. We made one decision together to go out to eat. And we're like, where do we go? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know what you want. Okay. Both of us can't know. Well, I made the decision to go out to eat. Okay. Well, I made the decision not to cook dinner. Okay. Well, I made the decision.
Now you're arguing over not making more decisions. Yeah. That's as the primary decision maker at my house, because that's just how it works out, is I am the one who is here all the time. I am not working two jobs out of the house. Sometimes when that comes up with me and Jim, the question, what are we going to do for dinner? Well, what do you want? I want to not have to make the decision, please.
Yeah.
That is the answer. If I am coming to you about dinner, that means that I don't want to make the decision.
I'm tapped out.
I can't do it.
I am opinionated enough to be like, I don't know, you choose what I'm making for dinner. Spaghetti. No, not that.
Yeah. I don't want to make the decision. I don't know what I want, but I can tell you I have a non-exhaustive list of things I don't want, but I don't know that I don't want them until you mention them. I don't know what that is. Yeah. That's the story of my life. I literally on TikTok, on short form videos right now, I have an entire series that I accidentally ended up doing where they are videos of me cooking dinner, and I am just talking about how difficult it is to decide what to make for dinner.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of reasons. The more complex the decision, the more exhausting it is. And so what happens is you make a series of super complex decisions, like meal planning, when you've got meal preferences, you've got dietary considerations, you've got, last minute you opened that pack of pork and smell tells you it went off, even though it's before the date and you just got it. You just accidentally
you took something out for dinner, and now you're in the zone of, okay, well, I took out this chicken, but now I don't want the chicken. So now I have a timer on the chicken. I could leave it in my fridge for up to 3 days, but that's maybe pushing it. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this the next few days, but I am definitely not making it tonight.
Well, what happens? What happens is I go through a series of massively complex decisions, and then I end up glitching the F out in front of my dresser 2 hours later because I simply cannot choose which pajama pant to put on.
Or like you want the one pair of pajama pants and you're like, where are they? They're not clean.
They're dirty. They're dirty and I cannot put
made
them
a
on
decision
again.
and I
It is
can't
becoming
put
a
them
health
on.
hazard to keep wearing these until I wash them.
Yes. Yeah.
There's this overwhelming part where I've made all of these complex decisions. And I know there are people out here hearing, oh my God, you're adults. We're not saying this happens every day of our life.
Yeah.
We're saying there is a burnout point. There is a decision-making overwhelm that will just sort of slam into you for a while. And then I honestly don't know how it lifts. Eventually, it just gets easier to start choosing things again.
Yeah, and I feel like there is a correlation with the time of year. And for me, it usually happens around this time. Like we're finally back into that routine with school, but we went through this big transition period and it was so much effort. And then I'm just tired. Because I will never fix my sleep schedule for the school year. It's never going to happen. Like my kids are on fall break right now, which means I've already royally messed up the almost okay sleep schedule. Like I went to bed at 2:00 in the morning. Are you kidding me? That's not reasonable. I'm not going to reset that. I'm not going to be ready for school.
You'll be up till 2:00 in the morning because you had too much sleep too late in the day and you won't be tired until 2:00.
And now I'm in my 30s, so I could get the 7 hours of sleep, but it doesn't matter if it's the wrong 7 hours. So, it's fine. It's fine.
The other thing that I get that pushes me into that decision burnout, and this is, again, I am the originator of most of my own problems.
Yeah, same.
I can't handle, I wish I could. I'm just going to put it out. This isn't I'm going to dance around the truth. I can't handle repetition. I leftovers maybe twice before I'm like, I would rather eat a mildewy bath mat than eat that chili that I made and is perfectly fine.
I made enough that I am like, yes, because we all like this leftover. I've made enough that we could eat it again. No, I don't want it again.
I don't want it. I don't want it. And so it ends up in the freezer and I'm always like, so every time this happens. And this is, I think, another thing that filters into decision burnout. I make a decision to stick it in the bags and I put it in the freezer and there it will live for the next 5 to 7 business years.
Until you're like, what even was in this bag?
What the frick was this? I don't even remember. And then you throw it out.
Delaying the waste. Yeah.
If I could get myself to like accept something more than once, it would be fine. Because I also do it with hobbies. I do it with books. I do it with music. I do it with clothes. I've worn that shirt too much. I shall not ever wear that again. Why? I don't like that my brain is like this.
No, I get that. Especially with the hobby thing, my kiddo has started getting into the art hobbies of, ooh, I think I want to do this craft. Here's this list of supplies I need, Mom. And I'm like, I know this song. Let me give you some tips on how to play it better. Okay. Let me help you out here, kid. But when it comes to dinner, I feel you on the repetition because there are certain meals that everyone in my house will actually eat usually, right? Because everyone has preferences, even if it's a food you usually like. Sometimes you're not in the mood for it. And the idea of eating it is like, I would rather eat a mildewy bath mat. And so there are a handful of meals that I know I could cook that everyone will eat. And I am usually not in the mood for them because they are things that we will eat a few times a month, right? And I will still make them sometimes because sometimes the decision is how to make my life easier and not to my own preferences. But then when it comes to dinner time, okay, well, here's the list of things everyone will eat. Here's the list of things I can make without a recipe, which is much larger. But then if I make this one, then these 2 kids are definitely not going to eat it because they don't like curry. And then I have to figure out, well, now I have to make a decision about what they're going to eat. And so if I make certain meals, now I have to make extra decisions to figure out how to accommodate the other preferences. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll make the cheeseburger macaroni because I don't want to make the extra decisions and everyone will eat the cheeseburger macaroni.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that filters into even more things, because if you have to do multiple menu steps, you still only have one stove with a few burners. And depending on what you're making, you may not have access to all those burners because things take room. You've only got the one oven. You've only got the one microwave. And so when you're having to layer in, now we're wandering into the very next thing that makes the decision fatigue so intolerable at times, is when you are the primary scheduler of your family. You are not just making choices about what they consume, about what nourishes their body. You are making decisions of where they need to be, how they get there, what time you have to leave the house, what things do you need to bring, how long will it take? Oh, but wait, that's going to be at 5 o'clock that we're going to be on the road. So that's in the middle of rush hour. So we need to leave early, but we can't leave too early because without rush hour, it will take an hour and a half to get there.
And then it's the scheduling of, do we eat before or after this thing? What time will we get home? What time is that in consideration to bedtime? What time is the latest they can go to bed and still have enough sleep to get up ridiculously early for how early the school day starts? It's before dawn. It's fall now. We're getting ready. It looks like midnight
we watch
outside.
the sunrise waiting for the bus.
Yeah. It's so much to try to manage. And then if you throw in the extracurriculars, because I know like you all don't do the extras as much, like for the little ones.
No, we are a school family.
Yeah.
When we don't have enough community around us that enables us to participate in these. So we wait for the school community to be like, oh, here's a built-in team. They're all your age. Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the soccer.
Yeah. And that's for us. I love doing the extracurricular stuff. I'm a sports mom now. I don't know what that is. I didn't decide that. It happened to me. And
neither of my children are sporty, and I know that now. They have not really tried a whole lot of the sports. They are not sporty. I know that now. I will, however, be spending an insane amount of time in auditoriums because they're both the artsy kids.
Yeah, that's my eldest is artsy, my middle is sporty, and my littlest is a little of both. And so I am just constantly scheduling my calendar. The problem I have is remembering to look at said calendar that I have all of the dates, times, etc. in. But then it's, when you sign up for a sport. So like, here's a weird thing. This is going to be the first time I say this. Other sports parents know. Other sports parents, you see that? Because I'm a sports parent now. That's funny.
Yeah.
I look like one, right? Catch me
the
out.
rat shirt really doesn't.
Catch me out at the ball field next to the soybean fields near the holler. Okay. I still don't know what a holler is. I've lived in Kentucky for 8 years.
No one explain it. No one explain it. If I see a single comment explaining what a holler is, I'm deleting it. And I won't block you because I love that you listen to us, but I'm deleting the comments.
A holler, that's easily Googleable, and I just don't. But when you have kids in sports, when you sign them up, you don't know what the schedule is going to be. You have to wait until the scheduling gods bestow it upon you, and you hope that your kid's team plays at the reasonable time. Mine's never do.
I'm quite sure there are reasonable reasons that happens, but to me, from my end of the one needing to keep the schedule for more than one friggin' human being, why did we have signups if we haven't already decided how you're playing? You can make the. I know, and I know that there's a bunch of people who have run the soccer leagues who have done all that. They're like, no, it's more complicated than you think. I get that, but it's still fresh. Two things can be true.
They have to make all those decisions.
I know. For other people, for me, the scheduling thing. What makes that so much worse for me specifically is my people pleasing and my perfectionist tendencies. If we're late, it's the end of the world. My nervous system does not know the difference between a meteor impacting the crust of the earth and being 5 minutes late to a dentist appointment. Doesn't make a difference.
I'm like calling the doctor's office. I'm going to be 2 minutes late. I just want you to know I am on my way. I did leave early enough to get there 20 minutes early, but then there was an accident on the highway, but I'm just going to be about 2 minutes late. And they're like, you have a 15-minute leeway every time. And I'm like, okay, I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be there 2 minutes. Yeah. And then trying to schedule all your to-do list around all of the extra things like the appointments and the extracurriculars and like how much time is this thing going to take? Do I do this before or after ball practice? It's
and there's always the unknowns, which that's part of being the human, but there's always the unknowns. What if I live in an area where on a bright sunny day the power will just turn off for a while and then it will come back on. As we
know from a couple episodes ago when our timer did not go off, your internet did.
My internet did.
It just
the power just stops sometimes.
Yeah.
The internet just stops sometimes. We don't know why. No one can explain it. Even the power company is like, we don't know why it does that. That feels like it's your job to know why it does that.
They couldn't decide.
They couldn't. They're like, it's a couple different things and we didn't feel like picking. So we're just going to say, I don't know.
It is what it is.
But the variables always throw me for a loop. I get sort of stuck in this variable processing place of I could start the dishwasher, and we have terrible water pressure too. But if I start the dishwasher, what if someone needs to take a shower? If I start the dishwasher, what if the power goes out? If I start the dishwasher, what if I need to clean? What if? Okay,
but let me give you the best thing against the what ifs. I'm telling you, this is the best thing. Because
I know
this is
this
what
one.
this is what I use for myself with my anxiety, with my kids. Anytime that your brain starts in a what if spiral, the easiest way to combat that, and it doesn't completely fix it, it's just we can combat it a little bit. Switch it to even if. Even if this happens, here's what I'll do to handle it. And it is it feels like taking a little bit of that control back of like, wait, I can handle this. So what if this happens? Well, even if it does, here's the steps I could take to manage it. It's a game changer. Yeah.
So even if the power turns off, my dishwasher's still going to flood.
So I guess we look into flood mitigation.
Right.
You know.
And I have those steps in place, but it's one of those things that, okay, but I have to make a decision one way or the other. I have to let it sit. I will turn on the dishwasher. The dishwasher typically runs while I am bed rotting, scrolling TikTok when I'm supposed to be going to sleep, because I turn it on and then I go lay down. I'm supposed to be going to bed and I never do, because that's another decision that I don't want to make.
No, and then you end up in a weird scroll hole. That is for me, whenever I'm on the internet, when I'm supposed to be sleeping, that is where I end up deep diving the randomest thing. And then I end up like, I was up till 2 a.m. because I was researching Jane Goodall. Like, that's the truth. I didn't expect to be there. But rest in peace, Jane Goodall. Goodness. That's where I ended up.
I got this. It's not a computer. It is this. It's a rope game where you tangle up all the ropes and you put them in the little pegs, and then you have to move them in a certain way. The rules are unimportant, but this thing has been soaking up so much of my life because I chose to try to find things that don't require a device, because my tech addiction is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Which is, again, more decisions that I have to make. Okay, I've recognized a problem. And I think that's, again, it's the human condition. I've recognized a problem. I need to figure out a solution. I have to choose a whole bunch of things. Being an adult is just making a whole bunch of choices. But what happens when you don't want to make choices?
Personally, I just started drawing a photorealistic picture of Samuel Adams. That was my choice to combat my ever-growing to-do list that I don't want to make decisions about. Normal things.
Most of the time, my procrastination is because I have to make some sort of choice. Oh, shoot.
I'm leaving that. I don't know what you just dropped, but I'm leaving that right here.
My
in this
entire
episode.
microphone. My entire microphone just popped off its stand. I would like credit for not cursing at that. I said the most Midwestern non-curse ever.
Do you want some gold stars?
No,
I could send you some.
I am aware that you could. You'd have to choose to go to the post office, so I'm safe.
That's true. That's true. You ever like do that? That's a decision I've always made is if I order something and it comes in and it's not exactly what I expected or it doesn't fit or whatever, I'm like, well, I guess I'm deciding that's
money.
just a loss. That's just a loss now. I'm deciding to not add that to my to-do list.
So one of the people, I was standing at the school and they were just sort of like chatting, and I was chatting with them, and they're like, they did that thing where they tried to find a universal experience because none of us have ever had an original experience, right? They're like, oh my gosh, how many Amazon returns do you have in the back of your car? I'm like, y'all do Amazon returns? I don't even try.
I've never even looked into the process.
I suck at ordering things, and I just wasted that $20, and I'm sad because now I can't get the thing that I actually needed because I wasted the $20 on the thing that was wrong. What do you mean? Amazon returns.
I literally just accidentally doubled my Chewy budget. I get my rat food monthly. Mm-hmm. With the auto ship, and last month I had added a few things that I needed on, like the reusable doggy pads that I put under their thing,
So now you're getting those monthly too.
Yeah, I'm getting a second month of my extra order. I got the email and it was like, hey, time to update your auto ship, and I decided that I would remember to get to that later, knowing how my brain works. No, I won't. And I think that's part of the decision thing too, when we're talking about scheduling. If you have ADHD, good luck, because, this appointment is at 10 a.m. I cannot do anything until it is time. I will sit here watching the clock so that I don't forget what time I have to leave. Even if I set alarms, now I'm just waiting to hear the alarm. I'm just in the freeze.
What if I miss it? What if I don't hear it? What if I didn't turn it on right?
What if I forget what the alarm was set for? As if I would.
Even if I did, now I'm going to be late and the world's going to explode.
Yeah.
Because that's anxiety.
And I'm going to have to call. Hey, I'm going to be 2 minutes late.
2 minutes late? Well, and I think the other thing that lends to the decision fatigue is that so much of being an adult is making choices. And so much of being an adult is making choices that we have no idea how to make. Especially when we get down into like medical stuff, like the ever-present cycle of what do you mean I have 5 options because my kid is feeling poorly? I can wait and see. I can schedule a pediatric appointment, like an appointment just at the doctor's office. I could go to the urgent care. I could go to the emergency room, or do I need to call 911?
Yeah.
What do you mean there's 5 options because my child has a rash?
Right.
Is this the kind of rash that I need to call 9? It's on their neck. Is that where the meningitis rash? Is this the meningitis?
Is this the meningitis? I have this specific
I have an irrational fear of bacterial meningitis.
I think the entire millennial generation does because of house. It's that and lupus. Like, I don't.
It's never lupus. It's never lupus.
Yeah. I have this tree that I go down when I am making a decision, like my decision tree when it comes to doctor stuff. Now, of course, I probably am privy to a different level of medical stuff. I have a medically complex child.
No. We need to contextualize this for people who may not know. Your medical decision making operates on a different level than the rest of us.
Yes,
because you have a medically complex child.
I have a medically complex child, and I have a degree in health information, which I use to make a history podcast and parenting podcast. That's going well.
And periodically, when the group chat has to get a bill from a hospital, we just send it to Tori, and Tori then looks at it and gives us all the questions to ask so we can get a whole bunch of the stuff removed, because healthcare in America is effective.
So effective. Yeah. Your bill can't go to collections if you keep disputing it. for whoever needs to know that. And anyway, with that, I have different things that I go into, and I do have a medical knowledge. So surprisingly, as one of the most anxious people you know, I don't get as anxious with medical stuff because I just have a little bit of knowledge. The problem too, though, is I have enough knowledge to really freak myself out in the wrong day. But when it comes to an acute illness where I'm like, okay, we have a fever. These are the symptoms. Do I need to go to a doctor? Should I make an appointment with the primary? Do I need to go to urgent care? One of the questions I always ask myself is it a bigger risk to not go to urgent care or to go to urgent care and risk bringing another illness home? Like, that's where because I'm like, I have a big anxiety about illness. Like, I don't care. Like, when people are like, it's just a cold, I'm like, I don't want just a cold. I feel bad enough mentally. I don't need to add in a cold. Okay, we're good. So I'm like, will this need antibiotics? And of course, everyone in my family has had our tonsils out, and we get strep every year still. And then doctors are surprised. They're like, you can get that? Yep. Well, my tonsils grew back. That's a whole nother story. But yes, that can happen, by the way.
Yeah. Well, and then there's always, here's the thing though, is there are things that we tend to forget about that help us make those decisions. But unfortunately, it feels like a decision to have to make because there's pediatric call lines. There are all sorts of, and I'll see if I can find one that I really like because I am now thinking about it. Therefore, I've never known any of this information.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I can't remember it, but there are a couple different lines that are completely free to call, and they will help you assess.
Usually your actual pediatrician has a nurse line and or an on-call line. Like, if I call my pediatrician after hours, I get sent to this on-call line where you can tell them what the problem is, and they will get that to the on-call doctor, who will then call you back. So there are a lot of options. And like, if you're not sure, like, call your actual pediatrician's office and ask them, like, hey, if my kid was having a health problem after hours and I wasn't sure if I needed to go to urgent care, do you have an on-call service?
Well, and a lot of times the pediatric nurse line will be able to say, oh, no, that's not that big a deal right now. Please be on the lookout for this, this, this. And if this happens, then take this, or this step. A lot of times they're like, I can't diagnose you. I can't tell you what's wrong, but I can say what you've told me right now does not necessitate coming to see us unless these things happen. Or, oh, no, actually, you might need to skip us. It might be time to go ahead and head into that urgent care.
Yeah.
Or, oh, no, you have called the wrong. So 911 is what you're going to want to dial next. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is there are lines like the poison control line. I've called poison control, right? Like, I feel like people feel ashamed. Like, if I call poison control, they're going to think that I like did something wrong because this is the poison control number. I had to call poison control because when my kid was a toddler, they literally bit into a glow stick. And I didn't know if that fluid was a problem. The package was already gone. And they're like, oh no, that's fine. Just like rinse out the mouth. I was like, oh,
no,
cool.
here's how paranoid I was. I had gone to work. My eldest was with my ex, who I was still with at the time. And so that makes this kid maybe 2. And at the time, my hair gel came in a container that was literally shaped like a lemon. Like it had the little leaf and everything. It was shaped like a lemon and it had a little flat bottom. So it sat on that thing. My 2-year-old saw the lemon and it smelled very sweet. It smelled kind of lemony, not like cleaner lemony. It smelled like lemon candy. It smelled like lemon sorbet. It looked like lemon sorbet. And so she just a handful out of it, straight out of the tub, chomped down on it. And I get home just as she's trying to spit it out because it does not taste like lemon sorbet. But I cannot for the life of me find the rest of this container. I knew how much was in it. I saw how much she had spit out on the floor, and there was still a significant amount of it missing. I found it, and I'll explain that later. But I panicked. I called poison control. I was like, my child just ate what I believe to be an entire tub of hair wax. What do I do? And they're like, okay, so we went through some things. They gave me that. It turns out it was fine. I did later find the rest of the hair tub on the dog.
Yeah.
Dog got a little makeover with my hair wax. But I was so panicked when I called the poison control. I was like, do you have to tell DHS that I endangered my child? She ate hair gel. And the poor woman were like, oh, baby, no, I'm not. I'm not going to. You didn't endanger the child. You called poison control, sweetie. That's what you were supposed to do.
Like you did a good thing because you were worried and you took the step you were supposed to. No, I think that's funny. That's like that is a rite of passage. It's a canon event in childhood where they have to eat something
stupid that necessitates you call
like
poison control.
Yeah, or just something stupid. Like one of my kids took a bite out of a plastic burrito from the play kitchen. Thankfully, they didn't swallow it. One of my kids did swallow a quarter, had to go to urgent care for that one. Still have a picture of that x-ray. And I think it's a canon event for every child to see the cocoa powder in the baking cabinet and want it. And you have to let your kid, they get so excited. Yeah, go ahead and taste it.
That, and you have to burst either or both one of the stress balls that are filled with sand or gel and one of the beanbag chairs. You have to get you have not finished your childhood if you have not gotten those tiny styrofoam beads everywhere.
Hi, I'm in my 30s, and one time on telehealth therapy, I accidentally exploded a Neato ball in my 30s.
I did the thing where I looked at the beanbag and I saw I could see the threads like sort of emerging along it wasn't open. I couldn't see through it, but I could see the threads were real tight.
Yeah.
And I went, it's fine. And then I turned around and I flopped my 300-pound self and then was shocked when it started snowing inside the house.
Yep,
I was just confused because of the series of decisions I made.
Poorly. The thing, I think it's so funny because we're always talking about like kids with their kid level of impulse control. Like when we do it too, like sometimes
I was 39 when this was happening.
Yeah, but we talk about kids and their lack of impulse control as if we're that much more advanced. Like sometimes we just be making decisions that we don't even think. We're just, and then we go, why did I do that? That's the thing that makes us adults. That's the part that makes us adults is we question why we made that decision.
Why did I think this is a good idea?
Yeah.
I don't think I thought. That's the whole problem is I did not think even a little bit before committing to this decision. Right. Well, and that makes the decision fatigue so much worse because we tend to remember the lessons that we're supposed to learn from, whether we do or do not learn them. But when we're looking back across the landscape of our memory, now that worked out poorly, that worked out poorly, that worked out poorly. We remember the decisions that didn't work, but we don't remember all of the lead up to it and how there might have been a different decision we could have made. We didn't. We learned our lesson. But all we remember is, nope, don't make it that way. I just won't choose because it didn't go poorly the last time I made a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're like looking at it. And then that's where I think part of the decision fatigue comes from as well, is when you are looking at all the bad decisions you made. Because usually if you are in that burnout, you are not in a great mental space, right? That's the opposite of burnout. And so now we're in that shaming ourselves zone, which is not helping us make better decisions when all we're thinking about is, well, I should have made that decision better. But we're leaving out the context of why we made the decision we did, because maybe we didn't know that was going to happen. Maybe we made the best decision we could at the time with the information available to us and with the amount of energy we had at the time. And we're leaving that part out. Yeah, sometimes we make bad decisions that we didn't realize were going to be a bad choice. And that doesn't mean we should just like not make a choice right now. This is advice for me. I'm talking to myself.
Here, take my advice. I'm not using it. Well, so here's some of the things that I had to break out the decision dice. Okay.
Of course you have decision dice. What do we call this process? I know you have a name for it.
The decision dice. So no, it's just a little gimmick that my husband bought me as a joke. one Christmas. It was in my stocking, and it's just a set of dice that's pre-printed. I didn't make it like this. You can just buy this from the Zon if you want to. But it's got ethnic cuisines, and then it's got really common main dishes. So you can choose to roll both and see if you can manage both things. You can roll just one. It's just supposed to be silly. And it was a ha-ha funny, Gwenna can never choose where to eat, but she has all these opinions of where she doesn't want to eat. So here, this is just, but I have actually started using them to menu plan because I'm so tired of making the decisions. Pizza? Okay, we're having pizza. And now once that like base decision is made, I can now go through all the steps. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a build your own pizza night, which does require all of these steps. Or no, we're just doing freezer pizza. Or I'm going to make a family pizza from scratch. Like once the base decision is made for me, I can make all the little branchy ones that come off of that. I'm no longer overwhelmed. But the amount of times that sometimes just having one part, the very first step of a multi-step journey decided for me, now I am free to continue making all the rest of the decisions I need to make. And I don't know why that is, but it helps.
No, I feel like because it just takes that little bit of the pressure off. That makes sense. That makes sense. I end up in these moments where I will be like, I impulsively want to make something new for dinner. I'm like, I want to try something new, which always tends to be when I am overwhelmed with the amount of things I have to do. I feel like it's my brain's way of being like, you know what would be fun is to try something new.
You've never ever tried before.
Yes, like let's just get really into this. And then because you're going to be so focused on perfecting this recipe, you won't think about how stressed you are about everything else. And like, sure, this is going to take hours because you've never done it before. And then you're going to be really stressed after. But this is the decision we're making. Anyway, I make a lot of curry now. A lot of times I'm really into it.
I am going to need you to send me the recipe for curry because that Indian cuisine on the whole has consistently managed to elude me. I can't make it taste good at home. This is an offline discussion.
Yeah, no, I'll send you some recipes and the quality of ingredients matters. I'll send you pictures of my spice cabinet. Yeah.
That's probably the issue. I cheap out on the spices a little bit. If it doesn't come in a spice blend, I'm not buying it.
One of the things that I do to combat that decision fatigue though, because some nights I really am like, this is what I want for dinner. I'm going to make it. I have time to make it. I am excited to eat this. Some nights I'm like, I took chicken out. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll figure it out. And maybe it'll end up in the fridge and maybe it won't. And on nights like that, where I'm like, I really want to cook. Okay. I don't want to order out. I don't want to like waste money and whatever food I took out. What do? I could put this in the fridge. I always, at least one grocery trip a month, I add in a few things that can easily be made into easy dinner night, whether that be a frozen pizza or whether that be breakfast for dinner stuff. Like some nights, that's what we end up doing I like short order cook it, but it's all simple stuff because then it is less stressful. And so, me and one of my kids really like chicken fry wraps. It's a thing that I've eaten almost every day for years. And one of my kids is really into, she likes hamburgers. So I could keep those like frozen hamburgers in the freezer. And, the other one, like she'll go with an omelet. These are so quick and easy that it is by being the short order cook for my kids, I am actually taking those decisions off of myself. Now I know you're going to eat. And I don't have to decide what that is.
Well, and one of the things I do to make sure that I am paving the way for easy decision making is not over structuring, but providing structure for myself. So when I go shopping, I've shown this on my socials several times, and it's probably time to do it again. I will buy several meals, and it started as defend the food from my eternally grazing teenager. Because if I didn't protect the food, I was going to end up, all right, we're making butter chicken and I bought the little jar of sauce. And for whatever reason, the jar of sauce is half eaten. Abby, why the hell did you eat the jar of simmer sauce? What she did is she took chicken strips and was just dipping it in there and eating it like dip. I was like, honestly.
Also,
You
those
might
simmer
have
sauces
found something there.
on your make your pizza night, the chicken tikka masala, that simmer sauce,
Yeah.
great on pizza.
Good to know. Good to know. So anyway, aside
letting you know.
from realizing that I could make dips out of simmer sauces, which was mind blowing, I also no longer had the simmer sauce that I needed to make the food. So I started putting them in these little bins. But what that means is when I go shopping, I get about 4 meals in a row, and I put all their ingredients in these little bins that live on the very top shelf of my refrigerator. Because I am not vertically challenged, so that is not a bad place for me to put it. If you are vertically challenged, maybe pick a different shelf. The last time I posted that, they're like, I wouldn't be able to reach it. Well, it's my fridge. I don't care if you can reach the food at the top of my fridge.
My kids already know how to climb counters to get to the top shelves in our cabinets because they are so tall.
It's beans.
I tell my
Here's
kids
my
how to
recipe
get
for beans.
You get the ladle out, and you just have to use the ladle, the soup ladle, to pull the item you need from the top shelf because you can't reach it.
No, but it's beans. Like, here's my recipe for 13 bean soup. Well, I don't like beans.
I don't like beans.
Don't make this recipe.
Can I substitute the beans? No, you can't. It's bean soup.
It's bean soup. You cannot do that. Just don't make this one. It's one's not
okay.
for you. No, but that, by putting it there, means that I have 4 or 5 meals, like that I could just pull the bin out and I have all the ingredients for. But I'm not beholden to a schedule, because on the same way that I get decision fatigued, I will get schedule obstinate. I don't want to do it just because old me told future me I have to do this.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't want to. But by having the 4, okay, yes, I have those options. I have drastically narrowed down my choice. I am not looking at the wide world of cuisine to choose. I'm looking at 4 options.
Yeah.
That's so much easier to choose.
Do you know one of the things?
I'm not looking at an entire week's worth of meals, which for those of you who can meal prep, love that for you.
I am
not among you.
I am impressed and intimidated by that. One of the things I have done to combat the decision fatigue when it comes to dinner is that, like, I will know this protein specifically, like say like it's chicken. I'm like, everyone eats chicken. Okay, what is a way that I could make it for everyone, right? And so, well, this is what I want. Well, my kid isn't going to eat that, but I can take these same 2 chicken breasts and cut them in different ways. This portion is going to the meal that I want. This portion, it's getting cooked the same way, but now it's in a chicken nugget shape and it won't go in the sauce. Okay, now we're all technically eating the same thing. It's just depending on the way it's cut and whether it's sauced or not. And then the sides don't matter. I have let myself let go of the stress of side dishes. We need to make sure that we have something that is like nutritionally dense, whether that be fruit or vegetable or one of those sides that I have made. And then we need something that is protein or that is going to be your dairy or whatever the case may be. These are the requirements, and we have several things that I just keep on hand that will meet that requirement that can go with the entree. And that has been so much easier than trying to figure out like the intricacies of, I don't care if everyone is eating the same thing. I care that we are all eating together. Like that is how I have found my way into making dinners easier.
The other thing that I've had to do is release the perfection expectation. And that's multi-tiered, and that's not always easy. And I am a perfectionist, and I don't want to say fighting myself about it, because that's I am bettering myself by acknowledging that perfectionism doesn't help as much as it feels like it ought to be.
Yeah. It's just stress. It's just added stress from yourself.
My mom, I didn't realize this. My mom, so I've got a new book. It's called Thinky Thoughts. It comes out in April, and if you're watching the video, you can currently see the cover. It's beautiful, and there's smiley flowers on it.
You can pre-order that. It's the link will be in the description, and you should,
This book comes out in April, and in it there are a bunch of stories that involve my mom. And I had permission to post all of them, but publish all of them. But in doing that, I had to share several of these stories with her. And she fessed up that because I grew up really poor. Even when my parents were married, we didn't make very much money. We had enough to pay the bills, and that was it. And there were many times when we didn't even have enough to pay the bills. I've definitely taken in the dark showers. We've done house camping before.
Yeah.
And if you've grown up poor, you remember house camping.
Yeah.
It's just your mom couldn't turn the power on for a couple days, so we're house camping. So that's how I grew up. And she always felt so bad when the only thing she could get for dinner was the knockoff hamburger helper. She felt like that was cheating because at the time we lived in Oklahoma and beef was cheaper than dirt.
Yeah.
And a box of noodles and seasoning cost about $1. And she always felt so bad. And that was the moment Mom, no, you don't understand. That is one of my best childhood memories. Oh man, I walked in to see that hamburger helper box sitting on the counter. Heck yeah, good day dinner.
Literally, like, what is with him? Why is it so good? I do a homemade hamburger helper. My kids, it's their favorite. I did too. Yes. It's like, then that's one of my favorite. When I was a kid, it was the same thing. We're getting hamburger helper.
Hamburger
Why
helper,
is it just beef and cheese and noodles and
maybe some bacon.
Yeah.
It wasn't even real bacon. It was bacon bits. Okay, so
it literally says
all
on the
of that.
package, not bacon.
No,
and you're like, I don't care. I love it.
I don't care. It's not food. It's or chemicals. Give me the bacon flavored chemicals. Speaking of decision fatigue, though, we may or may not have decided to do this entire episode for one thing. I opened the episode saying that I've been thinking about this, and that is true. I have been thinking about this.
Yes.
But the reason we did this entire episode is because we are in the middle of I don't want to say rebranding, but we're making a website.
Well, I am sure that everyone has noticed that there's been a lot of changes.
Like first we were just, I almost called us founded. First we were Childproof.
Available anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.
First we were Childproof, and then we had Pleasant Phantom appear, and then Pleasant Phantom disappeared, but it didn't. That's just Tori.
It didn't.
Tori is-
It's just it's we are still business partners, and I am still the one producing everything. That's Pleasant Phantom. It's more of the background.
But now we're on Airwave, and we are finally to a point where some of these changes are slowing down that we can actually tell you they're coming instead of just dropping them in your lap. And one of them is a brand new website and a brand new branding. So we're getting a new logo, we're getting new merch, we are getting a website.
And we are, I want to point out, we are switching the merch shop. We have realized there have been issues, and
there have been massive issues. We're handling it.
Yes.
We also recognize that some of you were subscribed on Spotify and now you're not. We know.
Yeah.
We did not know that was going to happen with one of these changes.
Yes. And we are sorry for all of the issues that we have had. And if they've been impacting you, we're working on it, and we are going to try to get all of our ducks in a row before we announce anything else officially.
Correct. So what's going to happen now is first we have to decide on a logo. And Tori and I have been for the past 3 weeks debating over these 6 logos. We love things about them. We're not sure about other parts of them. We cannot agree. We like all 6 of these. We just can't pick which one is the best. So we're not going to pick which one is the best.
We're not going to do
that. You are. In the show notes is a link to a Google form. And please, for the love of God, be nice about this. All you have to do is pick the one logo you want. Please don't vote for more than one. That's the problem. We know they're cool. We like them too.
We've been voting for more than one. That's why we can't make a decision.
That's why we can't make a decision. So we're going to have to honor system it. Just pick one. Don't keep going back and voting. Don't go and vote for the same one more than once. Because I can't limit. Listen, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this is the best I could come up with.
We should have had our teenagers help us with the Google forms.
I know
these things.
I asked my teenager, and she was like, "You can figure it out on your own." I was like, "Don't you throw my words back at me. Don't you do that." She goes, I'll give you the resources so you can learn. Listen here.
No.
Little
Oh,
punk.
that's gross.
Because the number of times she's like, hey, Mom, can you help me with this? I'll give you the resources so you can learn.
Well, what do you think? Let's go from there. I can lead you in the right direction, but let's start with what you know.
Anyway,
then
she reverse psychologied me, and the Google form is what the Google form is. Sorry.
Is that
Vote
the
once,
timer?
all right? That's
Okay.
the dang timer.
But, so go check the Google form and be on the lookout. We will give you a full announcement about website and new subscription, which will be the same thing you were getting if you were subscribed on Spotify. It will still be the same thing. It'll just be actually accessible to people who are listening on other platforms too.
Right.
But we're not going to announce it until we're positive that it's going to work. We will announce the merch after we've got samples and make sure that it all works. And
Correct.
So keep an eye out for
Honestly,
those things.
what we're probably looking at, the subscriptions will come online first. Everything else is probably going to come online after Christmas. Because again, we're at a point where we don't have to like throw changes and hope for the best. We can be intentional. We can learn from, because what happened was a bunch of our mistakes came from us feeling like we had to throw solutions that maybe didn't solve problems. And so we created
when
more
we went
problems
from being on a network to suddenly having to figure out how to do all this on our own. Some of our decisions were not the best because we didn't.
No, we made some mistakes.
Yeah.
Hopefully minor mistakes, hopefully, low stakes mistakes, but the subscriptions will be coming back on very, very soon. So continue listening for updates on that.
Yes.
And the website
and they
should
are still
debut
available on
after
YouTube.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of Childproof and for your support of all the podcasts on the Airwave Media Network.
Please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications on YouTube and Spotify or anywhere else you listen so you never miss an episode. And be sure to leave a rating, a review, and a comment on all of our podcasts. It really does help.
And we want to hear from you. If you've got something you need to hear us talk about on Childproof, email us at childproofmail@gmail.com. And I'm going to make a special request for those stragglers still listening this deep into the episode. I would like your best holiday stories, winter holiday stories, because we're going to be doing an email roundup right around the Christmas time. And we would like to share excellent stories of winter holiday. All of the winter holidays are welcome. I don't know how else to politely say that. It doesn't just have to be Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's fine.
That's fine. Even if it's just a fun winter story. Just tell us good, cozy winter stories. Yeah.
But we want to put nice warmth into one of the cold months with our email roundup. So our next email roundup will be happy winter stories, winter holiday stories.
Yes. And Childproof is a part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to all their other fine shows like Founded in Bibliophage and a bunch of the other podcasts that don't feature us.
And remember, sometimes our kids are the assholes.
Sometimes it's us. Indecisions.
Always the choices. So
Forms.
What do you mean I have to choose what everyone eats for the rest of ever? This is what I signed up for.